Hello and welcome to another tier list video. Today we are taking a look at my all-time favorite food, eggs. Now eggs have been a staple part of my diet for many years and they still are. I love eggs. Every time I go to the store I usually buy like 36 eggs and that'll last me usually about a week and a half. But eggs are my favorite food. So as you can probably guess, this list is going to be a bit biased. I can tell you right now there's not going to be anything down in the F tier. I love all eggs. Definitely like some preparations of eggs more than others, which is what I'm going to be looking at here. But really excited to do this list. So starting us off, we have hard-boiled eggs. Now, as far as ways to prepare eggs go, I would say this is a pretty common one, but it's often not people's favorite way to prepare eggs. But hard-boiled eggs are pretty good. If you're just eating them plain, it's not really the best, but a hard-boiled egg, if you pour out some salt and pepper and you just dip a hard-boiled egg in the salt and pepper, I think that's pretty good. But hard-boiled eggs are really at their best when they're being used in dishes for me. Hard-boiled eggs are very commonly used in salads. I think they're a great addition there. I love putting hard-boiled eggs in my salads. But even things like soup, even mixing them with like vegetables, there's egg salad. Just a lot of good varieties where you can add in hard-boiled eggs, and well, flavor-wise, taste, it's not necessarily my favorite way to eat eggs. I do think that versatility is really important, and for that reason, it's going to find itself in a very solid B tier. Up next, we have soft-boiled eggs. Now, in terms of the use cases, I would say it's pretty similar to the use cases of a hard-boiled egg. I wouldn't often eat a soft-boiled egg plain because, usually if you take a bite into it, depending on how soft-boiled it really is, it's going to be, leaking out. But I do think that soft-boiled eggs go really great in salads as well, especially if you're putting it into a dish which needs a little bit more moisture, maybe something to bind the other ingredients together. The yolk of the soft-boiled egg can definitely do that pretty well, so soft-boiled eggs, for me, I kind of like them about as much as hard-boiled, and it just depends on the situation, which I'd pick one over the other, so also going to find itself in the B tier. Up next, we have fried eggs. Now, I really like fried eggs. I will say, this picture is a little bit overcooked. If you're frying an egg, you don't really want it quite to be getting to that brownish part there. That's a little bit overcooked for a fried egg, in my opinion. And it also looks like they didn't ever flip over the fried egg, which in my opinion, usually you want to flip it over once to kind of get both sides just a little bit crispy, but not quite that brown. With that in mind, fried eggs I think are really good. Fried egg sandwiches are fantastic. A really great, easy thing to do in the morning. Just take 2 pieces of toast, butter both sides, fry an egg or 2. I usually go for 2 fried eggs on my sandwiches, and put them on there. It's a great meal. Fried egg sandwiches are fantastic. I would say fried eggs aren't really something that I would eat plain. If I'm just going to eat eggs, I'll probably prepare them another way. But putting them on sandwiches is really great. And for me, fried eggs definitely going to be a very solid A tier. Up next, we have scrambled eggs. Now, this is personally my favorite way to prepare eggs. It's the way I do it the most often. And I think scrambled eggs are the most versatile of all the egg forms, I suppose. And scrambled eggs, it's really easy to do. Just put some butter in the pan, crack some eggs in a bowl, beat them up, put them in there, and then cook them to your perfection. I think these eggs in this picture are cooked really well here. You don't want any brown on your scrambled eggs. If there's, if it's turning brown on your eggs, that means you cooked it a little bit too long, in my opinion anyways. Some people might like the brown on their eggs, but I like it, just completely yellow like you see in the picture. But scrambled eggs, there's so many things you can do. Even just plain scrambled eggs with a little bit of salt on it, I think is great. But you can put so many different things on it. You can put different seasonings. You can put salsa. I mean, scrambled eggs, sometimes I'll put them just on a sandwich and do a scrambled egg sandwich, just like a fried egg sandwich. One of my personal favorites is breakfast burritos. Just take a tortilla, put some scrambled eggs on there, and you can put anything you want on there. Sometimes I'll just melt some cheese. Sometimes I'll put some salsa. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of buffalo sauce. Sometimes I'll cook up some rice, do some rice and eggs, and then put some cheese on there. I mean, the use cases for scrambled eggs is just insane. And honestly, scrambled eggs mixed with other meat I think is actually pretty good as well. So like scrambled eggs with like pork, or scrambled eggs and steak, scrambled eggs and chicken, even like scrambled eggs and buffalo tuna I've done a few times. Just so many uses for scrambled eggs, and this is definitely my favorite form of my favorite food. So scrambled eggs, definitely going to be up in the S tier. Up next, we have omelets. Now, this is another really popular form. In terms of a consistency, it's usually pretty similar to the consistency of scrambled eggs, but omelets are really great because it's just so easy to cook other ingredients with them. You know, it's pretty easy to make once you learn how to make an omelet. It's pretty straightforward. You don't really have to do too much, just gotta have a good spatula to be able to fold over the omelet, but omelets are great. You know, you can crumple up bacon, can put ham, honestly other meats like chicken or steak. You can put onions, peppers. There's just so many good things to put on an omelet. And even if you don't love eggs, usually you can make an omelet that is going to taste fantastic. So omelets, definitely going to be another very solid S tier. For me, my second favorite right behind scrambled eggs, so it's going to find itself in the S tier. Up next, we have over easy eggs, which is another great one to put on sandwiches, in my opinion. You know, if you like the runniness of the eggs, over easy is a great way to prepare your eggs. You know, you take an over easy egg, you put it on a piece of toast or a bagel or a biscuit, and just like in the picture, you cut open the egg a little bit and you let the yolk go over, and it really just, the bread or the bagel or whatever you're using for your sandwich just soaks it up, and it's just so good. One thing I will say is this one can get pretty messy. I've had egg yolk all over my hand when I've been eating sandwiches which have over easy eggs on them. But another just fantastic one to put on sandwiches. And if you like the runniness of the yolk, this is a really good one to go for. It goes super well with a lot of different sandwiches. And for me, it's gonna find itself solidly in the A tier as well. Up next, we have over hard, which is pretty much, an over easy egg, but just cooked a bit longer so that the yolk does get completely solid. This is a good one if you don't really want something that's quite as messy as an over easy egg. Obviously there's no runniness of the yolk because it's completely solid at this point. So if I'm in a bit of a rush in the morning and I don't want to get my hands messy, I might go for an over hard egg instead of over easy. This one, it's in some ways similar to a fried egg, just in terms of like consistency. But over hard, definitely another solid one. I would say I prefer over easy, but over hard, definitely really solid as well. Gonna find itself up in the A tier. Up next, we have poached. Now, this one is a bit more complicated to make. Even now, I'm still not great at poaching eggs. My dad is much better, and I usually let him do it if I'm craving a poached egg. But poached eggs are yet another one that goes really great on sandwiches. Like you can see in the picture, you cut it open, you let the yolk go into the bread or the bagel or biscuit or whatever, and it just works really well. Honestly, poached eggs, another solid one, gonna find themselves in the A tier as well. Up next, we have raw eggs. Now, I do not recommend eating just raw eggs, but some people, that's their thing. Some people do like raw egg shakes in the morning. Well, they'll just like crack eggs into a blender and then drink it. That's not really for me. I'm not a fan of tasting raw eggs. I don't know many people who actually like the taste compared to cooked eggs, but it certainly has its use cases. I mean, sometimes you might take a raw egg and put it into a sauce for a carbonara. So there's definitely use cases for raw eggs where you want to put them into a dish, but it is relatively limited. But for me, I love eggs so much, I really can't put them below the C tier, so that's where it's gonna find. Last but not least, we have sunny side up eggs. Now this is, funnily enough, this is the one that you see the most in movies. I don't know what it is about movies, but they're always cooking eggs sunny side up, which is kind of strange to me because most of the time in real life, I feel like this is one of the least common ways to prepare eggs. They oftentimes have it at a menu on like Denny's or something, but I almost never see people go for sunny side up eggs. Let me know in the comments below if you prefer sunny side up eggs as your favorite way to eat eggs, but for me, it's not one I see that often, and it's really not my favorite. It's still good, don't get me wrong, I do like sunny side up eggs, but when compared to the other ways to prepare it, I feel like I would rather have something else. And sunny side up eggs isn't really something you can add into other dishes. I feel like if you're going to add eggs to a dish, usually one of the other forms of eggs are going to be a bit better for you. But that being said, sunny side up eggs still going to find themselves in a solid C tier. Well, that's my list. Let me know your guys' thoughts, and I hope you enjoyed.